arguments wrapping up. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. A marathon session in court in Manhattan as the prosecution makes its case in former President Trump's hush money trial.
The prosecution has been interpreting tweets and quotes from Trump's books and interpreting what they believe he meant during those or in those excerpts. Today, the prosecution also revealed the underlying crime that Trump is accused of. He's accused of unlawfully influencing the 2016 election by suppressing negative stories about himself, along with Michael Cohen and David Pecker.
Fox's Nate Foy outside the courthouse in New York City. Once again, the prosecution has wrapped up its case for the day. Court set to resume at 10 a.m. tomorrow. President Biden will be formally nominated as the Democratic presidential nominee ahead of the party's convention in August. That will allow the president to appear on Ohio's ballot in November. The issues come up because the convention is after Ohio's ballot deadline. The White House says there's no change in U.S. policy towards Israel after an airstrike in Rafah killed dozens of civilians.
Images out of southern Gaza are heartbreaking and horrific, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says, but an airstrike targeting Hamas leaders did not cross a red line that could trigger a change in U.S. support for Israel.
I think this speaks very clearly to the challenge of military airstrikes in densely populated areas of Gaza, including Rafah.
Kirby says Israel described a secondary explosion as an accident and will wait for an Israeli investigation. He also pushed back on suggestions Israel is launching a larger-scale ground operation in Rafah, telling reporters there is no indication that Israel is moving into population centers in the hearts of the city.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The U.S.-built temporary pier that's been taking humanitarian aid into Gaza will be removed from the coast for repairs. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Convicted serial killer known as the Son of Sam is denied parole in New York State for a 12th time.
David Berkowitz was not granted his freedom following his most recent parole board interview May 14th. How the members voted individually was not released. Berkowitz was arrested in 1977 for a killing spree that terrorized New York City. A jury convicted him for killing 6 people and wounding 7 others. Berkowitz got the maximum 25 years to life for each murder. Since becoming eligible for parole in 2002, Berkowitz says he has remorse in his found religion. Still, he has been continually denied freedom by the parole board, which makes its decision every 2 years. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A 14-year-old South Florida girl is arrested, accused of killing her grandmother. One of baseball's most controversial figures is retiring.
Longtime Major League umpire Angel Hernandez has announced his retirement after more than 3 decades, effective immediately. The 62-year-old saying in a statement that it was his childhood dream to umpire in the majors, but says he wants to spend more time with his family. Hernandez made his debut in 1991, becoming one of the more polarizing figures in the sport. While he was well respected by his fellow umpires, fans and players alike have long called him one of the worst umpires in the game. A lack of playoff game assignments led Hernandez to sue the league in 2017, claiming racial discrimination. The suit was eventually thrown out by a district court judge. Tony Genualdo, Fox News.
Mike Tyson representatives say he's recovering after falling ill during a weekend flight from Miami to Los Angeles. Tyson became nauseous and dizzy due to an ulcer flare-up 30 minutes before landing on Sunday, according to his representatives. Tyson's preparing to fight the 27-year-old social media star turned boxer Jake Paul this summer. I'm Lisa Lacera, this is Fox News.
From the Sierra Radio Network Newsroom, I'm Andrea Drake. It's 5:05. Here are your upcoming local and regional news headlines. Susanville police successfully resolve an Amber Alert issued for a missing 7-year-old boy out of Red Bluff. And a couple of earthquakes shake Lake Almanor, startling vacationers over the weekend. And camping season kicking off with more sites opening across the Plumas National Forest. And emergency repairs to the I-80 corridor starting again this week, impacting your midweek travel. And millions of young Chinook salmon released into the Klamath River by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife, set to boost the ecosystem. The stories behind the headlines coming up for you at the bottom of the hour. Now to Amanda and Aaron for Live at 5.
Good evening. We're back. You're listening to Live at 5 with Amanda and Aaron on your only local news radio station, KJDX, KSUE, Susanville, Portola, Quincy, and Chester. Tonight we have Schaefer Elementary representatives here to talk about the father-daughter dance. Then we're going to be talking about some narcissist behavior. Also, we're going to help you know if you're moving from talking to the dating phase, because we're the experts. Also, as well, we're going to be calling 2 names out trying to qualify for that Cabo Cruise giveaway. So be listening and stay right here for all this and much more, along with your local weather right after this break.
Hospitals are always there, ready to care. Each year, America's hospitals provide care to all who need it. According to the American Hospital Association, hospitals provide care to 137 million people and employ 6 million. In these unprecedented times, hospitals and health systems exhibit compassion, courage, and commitment to serving patients and communities. We are proud of our Banner Lassen Medical Center and Banner Health Clinic team for their commitment to our community and mission of making healthcare easier so life can be better. Thank you for all you do. Happy Hospital and Nurses Week.
Gray Eagle Meadows Championship Golf Course in Plumas County is just over an hour from Susanville and Chester Lake Almanor, and only 1 hour from Reno and Tahoe. Enjoy the mountain views with over 6,000 yards of extreme golf. Gray Eagle Meadows Golf Course is the first to open and the last to close each season. Golf Digest includes Gray Eagle Meadows on its list of best places to play. Golf White Hawk Ranch and Gray Eagle Meadow for $215. Conquer the hawk and soar the eagle. Visit them at GrayEagleMeadows.com. That's GrayEagleMeadows.com.
Ready to escape the humdrum of the routine? Ready for a change of scenery? We have just the answer. A fabulous cruise to Cabo aboard Princess Cruises. We've got your tickets. So what are you waiting for? Register today.
Town and Country Real Estate, Honey Lake Cafe and Deli, Carlson Tire Pros, Payless Building Supply, Red Hot Pizza, Seneca Healthcare, Lumberjacks, Diamond Mountain Casino, and Diamond Mountain Mini Mart.
Keep it here to hear your name announced on the air, and then call us to qualify for our next drawing to sunny Cabo. Only from your official vacation station.
Carlson's Tire Pros makes buying tires simpler. They offer a straightforward approach to tire and auto service that includes nationwide warranties, expert advice, and a great selection of Michelin tires. No matter what you drive or where you have driven, Michelin has a tire to fit any need. Visit in-store in Susanville or online at carlsonstirepros.com. Tire Pros. Love the drive.
Looking for a career that offers competitive wages and excellent benefits? Sierra Pacific Industries in Quincy is hiring. Entry-level jobs start at $20.89 an hour, and skilled jobs can earn more than $38. We promote from within, and the room for career growth is unlimited. Visit us at 1538 Lee Road in Quincy, or call 530-283-2820. Sierra Pacific Industries is an equal opportunity employer, including those with a disability and veterans.
Dedicated to their customers, committed to the communities they serve, loyal to their service to you. For over 60 years, that is the Ed Staub & Sons promise. Ed Staub & Sons have been serving Northeast California residents and businesses with diesel, dyed diesel, heating oil, propane, kerosene, bulk fuels, lubricants, and oils. Ed Staub & Sons providing quality products and service and meeting Northeast California energy needs. They offer tankless water heaters and propane-powered appliances too, along with Rinnai heaters. Visit them at edstaub.com.
Sierra Daily News is taking your news and radio experience to the next level with our brand new updated mobile app. Never miss breaking news and thrilling contests. Take KSUE JDX with you. Enjoy our exclusive podcasts in the car with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. Our updated app keeps you engaged longer right in the app, bringing more of what you love. It's not just for phones, but tablets too. Download the Sierra Daily News app today on your mobile device. Dive deeper. Sierra Daily News. News, contest, and radio revolutionized.
Stop for a moment and take a deep breath in. Smell that fresh, crisp air? Spring is here, and we are all ready to spring into action this season. From gardening, spring cleaning, outdoor adventures, and more, the Lake Almanor Clinic in Chester is here for you. Let us help keep you healthy and active this spring. Call us today to make an appointment with one of our primary care providers at 1-833-227-3743. That's 833-CARE-SHD. We also offer specialty care services including orthopedics, general surgery, and more.
All right, the time is currently 5:10, and it's time to take a look at that 3-day northeastern California weather. Outside the studio, it is currently 75 degrees, and tonight we're looking at a low of 48, going to be nice and clear. Wednesday is going to be sunny with a high of 77, clear in the evening with a low of 45. Thursday, another sunny day with a high of 81, clear in the evening with a low of 49 as well. Friday, it's going to be sunny again with a high of 87. We're getting closer to those 90s. Clear in the evening with a low of 52. Your full weather forecast is found on our website or our app, SierraDailyNews.com or Sierra Daily News, the app, which is available on Apple or Android. Go out there and get it. You can click on your weather, events, or you can click on podcasts and listen to any past shows because we're always right there in your pocket. Bam! That's how it is done. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on into our show. Aaron, welcome back from our extended weekend, and we have guests in the studio. Who do we have?
We have Ronnie. She's the president of the PTO out at Schaefer Union School Elementary. I'm not exactly sure of the details of all that, but anyway, we also have Beth. She's the 5th and 6th grade teacher, and we have some. I don't know what grades you're in, but we also have Ryder. What, you're in 3rd grade?
3rd grade.
And what about you, Sophia?
I'm in 1st.
1st grades. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the father-daughter dance. So tell us all about it.
Yes. So June 1st, this Saturday, from 5:30 to 8:30 is our final push for the father-daughter dance. We have quite a few tickets sold, so we're only going to have like 25 at the door. So we're really encouraging to go online at Everbright and get your tickets now. You can also contact the school if you have questions. And we're really just kind of focused on having involvement in the community. So even though it's held or put on by Schaefer, it's for everyone.
Okay. All right. And so you're saying that's going to happen when?
June 1st.
This Saturday.
This Saturday.
Okay. So what can we expect? Who has details of this big event? Should we start with you, Ryder?
The snack bar has Rice Krispie treats. There's cupcakes, popcorn, and lots of good yummy.
All right. All right. Sophia, you want to add to that? You have any details you'd like to share with us?
There is going to be grapes, and there's going to be pizza.
Oh, you got the good stuff, huh?
There's no pizza, you
guys.
Man. I'm sorry. I think
she
just wants to add things to it. There's going to be an awesome dessert bar. But if you want to talk about the decorations, what's your favorite decoration?
My favorite decoration is going to be the lantern.
Okay, do you have a theme for the dance?
Spring.
Spring. I like it. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Anything else before we let you go? What else do you have for us?
The main thing is just kind of this final push. We're really hoping to have a great community turnout, and that's kind of it. It's the last hurrah before the school ends. A lot of schools are wrapping up, and we know graduations are coming, and this is kind of our last
hurrah.
The last hurrah of event season. So we're excited to see the community.
Okay. So we got to make it big so we have it again next year, right?
Yes, and we wanted to make this as our first annual, and so we hope to continue the tradition and start more, so with doing like a mother-son date or something like that. So this is our first test of the waters.
Is this a formal event, or is it casual, or?
So the great question. It is a little more formal, but within your comfort zone. So it is not it's not tuxedo. We will not say that, our male figures need to be wearing ties. I would say it's really about cute comfort. So whatever makes you feel good that you can get down and boogie. There's going to be games, prizes. So really a fun community dance for any male figure that is a positive role model in your daughter's life.
So it doesn't have to technically be father. It could be uncle, grandpa, whoever's that guiding for that daughter.
That's
Correct.
right. Uncle, grandpa, neighbor, whoever fills that role for your daughter. Absolutely.
Good to know.
And we're getting ready to wrap things up. So is there anything else you guys are doing or are you just trying to wrap things up for the school year?
Just trying to wrap things up for the school year. I think we're all teachers, parents, kids. It's like that final countdown. What do we have? 8 days? 7 days. 7 days.
Beth
knows it.
Right.
7 days.
You guys ready for summer?
Yes.
The teacher's like, yes.
Yes, I'm teaching out at Richmond, and the kids are like, yeah, we're done. We're checking out. I can't get them to do anything. They're already checked out. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, thank you for coming in, and let's see it once more time with when, where.
And how much and everything?
June 1st. Thank you. Tickets are $25. So June 1st, this Saturday, 5:30 to 8:30. Tickets for we'll say a couple, but the pairing is $25. And then for any add-on is $5. So like if you're a dad and you've got 3 girls, it goes, dad, daughter 1 is a $25 pairing. And then each add-on is $5. Dessert bar, fun and games, Jensen Hall here in town. Easy jaunt. You don't have to make it all the way out to Schaefer.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to a short break, and we'll be right back.
You've been in an accident and your car isn't the same. Lassen Auto Body makes life easier with their years of experience with ensuring your body work meets original factory specs while putting your safety first. Lassen Auto Body, offering free estimates and the convenience of rental car arrangements. Call 530-257-2882, 257-2882.
When the loss of a loved one falls upon your family, know that everyone at Fink Funeral Home are here to support you and consider it an honor to serve your family. Fink Funeral Home is here to help you plan for your family funeral service needs so your family can rest more easily.
Are you getting tired of your career? The time is now to start thinking about advancements, opportunities, or being paid for something you love doing. That all begins with a degree or certificate from Feather River College. Start opening up more doors and opportunities today at frc.edu.
All right, and then me and Aaron are back. Super cool having the Schaefer peeps here.
Yes. By the way, congratulations once again for being a graduate.
Oh, that was fun. Thank you for coming, Aaron.
I was there. I couldn't stay long, but I stayed for the whole ceremony, but I heard you guys had like strawberries and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Chocolate-covered strawberries. Did you bring me one?
I didn't even get one myself. I ate one cookie, and then I had, some stuff going on, and so then I, exited out pretty quickly myself. And, I need to put I had an interesting weekend, so we could put who cares? My car, how it was broke down.
Oh, yeah.
So, if anyone has any information.
I was like, you don't want to leave it there that long, but I was like, I'm not going to overstep my bounds because, you got people in your life, and I don't want to overstep my bounds.
I was sick, and then it was so hard for me to get my car back home, and then we finally went to go get my car, and we get there, and, the windows had been smashed out. My stuff was stolen, and there was people there in the process taking stuff out of my car through the. I got there and the hood was up, and people were just pulling all kinds of stuff out of my car, and
I saw that one coming.
It's not too pretty right now.
Yeah. At first, you asked me to help you out. You have a tow rope or something like that. Yeah. I'm like, oh, you can't use a tow rope on 395.
I was like, oh, okay, because I didn't really know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, we'll just rent a U-Haul trailer, get it. And it took a little longer to get one because I kept missing it. People kept renting. There was only one for the county.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Sounds all right.
And
we're lucky to have that one.
And then I was sick with my lupus for a couple days, and so it was like so hard to go and get my car. And finally they had the U-Haul truck. We're like, let's go get it. And we went as soon as they had one, and I pulled up and there was people going through my car, and my hood was up, and the trunk doesn't even work anymore. And so if anyone was on 395 near Doyle, and they got people's plates from going through a black
on the outside it's on the outside of Doyle, almost close to the Red Rock turnout, right?
You guys can message us and give us that information.
Yes.
Because you never know. People might drove by and saw people pulling stuff, and sometimes they write down license plates.
Yeah.
Hey, what the heck? Here's my my what's it called? Use my
your platform.
Use my platform.
Go get those guys.
Get those guys.
Heck, someone's driving like, oh hey, we did that. Maybe we should have a change of heart. Give her back her stuff. That could happen too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me it was out there. I was like, oh girl, you can't leave that overnight.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And but I mean, so no, so that was part of my weekend after graduation. And
I had a great weekend.
I'm so glad. Sometimes you just gotta I feel like
sometimes you do.
Here lately, I've just been hit like over and over, and I'm like, just gotta laugh about it. What else are you gonna do?
What I usually do in those situations, I'm like, okay, this is what the Lord has asked me to deal with right now, and I want to come out with flying colors.
Everything I've been through that's been super hard has always made me stronger.
Exactly.
And so that's why I'm trying to see it. Every time I've been hit with something really hard, I'm like, it's because I'm gonna be like Superwoman after this, man. I'm gonna have like some powers.
Well, they say, have you heard of the analogy of the polished rocks? All the stuff where they put, they put the stuff in there and it kind of grinds against the rock and it polishes you a bit, right?
I've seen the story about that bowl with the cracks in it, and they're like, it makes they were like, imagine what this bowl looked like without because the cracks have made it more defined and more of it has like this more like the story to it, and it's made it sturdy because they've had to seal it, and it's just there's this whole really good story about this bowl and I can't remember, but anyways, yes.
Okay, I've heard the polished rocks one.
What's the polished
but for
rocks?
Me, I'd be like, dude, I'm gonna be a seriously polished rock at the end of this.
I've always heard I can't wait till I don't have to be strong anymore. And I'm like, I don't think that's
I don't know when that is.
I don't think
that's when you're dead. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So let's, but
it keeps me going, right?
It keeps you going.
So we're gonna call out our two qualifiers on their second half.
What are you doing right now?
Because we're gonna cut into the time, aren't we? Or should we just go ahead and
do one?
Let's just do one. That's right, you guys. It's that time. We slipped on in there. All right, you guys, it's time to qualify another listener
from the 5. We're on a roll.
Registered at one of our locations, and right now we are going to call out a name, and that name is Caleb Hollard out of Chester, who registered at Seneca Hospital. All right, Caleb, you have 12 minutes and 40 seconds to call us at 530-257-8255 to qualify for our next cruise to Cabo. Again, 530-257-8255. The clock is running, so call us now. Again, we have drawn the name of Caleb Hollard out of Chester. Good luck from your official vacation station.
Do not use if you're allergic.
Hopefully Caleb calls.
Caleb, give us a call, 257-8255. Give us a call.
All right. We'll see. Maybe Caleb's going to call and get registered and get... We're not registered.
Qualified. He's already registered. Yeah. Now we're trying to get him qualified.
These steps sometimes.
I know, and who knows? Maybe they may both mean the same thing, but we're using two synonyms to define two different parts of this whole.
Yeah, and we'll call
system.
Another name in the second half. So yeah, but for right now, we got a little time talking about all the craziness, how strong we got to be. Let's talk about narcissists.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Challenges faced by two narcissists in a relationship.
That doesn't work.
Well, that's why they're going to tell you. They said narcissist couples might appear initially compatible, both not craving attention and validation. However, as the relationship progresses, these challenges become evident, hindering their ability to maintain a healthy and fulfilling connection. Here are some common challenges faced by two narcissists in a relationship. Okay, you narcissists, listen up if you're both in a relationship together. Power struggles. In a two narcissistic relationship, both partners constantly vie for dominance and control, leading to conflicts and never-ending power struggles. See, I'm definitely not a narcissist. You're definitely not a narcissist. because neither one of us, like, I feel like, have to have power or be in control or have say-so everything, or are you a narcissist?
Why are you saying I think it depends. I don't know.
Depends on what the subject is.
Well, when you say someone's in power or in control, I think that's a bit ambiguous, because there are times I'm like, you know what, I just go with it. I'll just go with the flow. But then there are times where you just feel like, you're like, okay, someone's got to take charge. Someone has to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to just do it so we can get this done.
Mm-hmm. Next one is lack of empathy. Neither partner of the narcissist couple shows genuine empathy toward the other's feelings and needs, resulting in emotional distance and misunderstandings. There has to be someone that's like an understander. I think you both actually. A narcissist, I don't know, this makes you not want to be in a relationship with a narcissist.
Well, yeah. Well, I do believe that there are some people who, if they didn't have somebody who was like a narcissist, they would just flounder in life. They need someone to take charge. They need someone to say, hey, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
They need that power person in their lives.
See,
because they're just so passive. They need someone like that.
See, I think sometimes I'm super passive, and I think other times I'm like, I'm over this. And like, I like snap. But then there's also times where I need someone to be like, hey, like, no, you need to not do that. Like, you're allowing, you know, because sometimes because I don't like confrontation so much, I just will let things go that I shouldn't let go. Or I'll let things happen that I shouldn't let happen because I don't want to be confrontational, or I don't want to argue, or I just don't have it in me to fight. And then, you know, sometimes it takes someone to be like, hey, you're like being walked all over. You're taking stuff you shouldn't. And I'm like, oh, really? Is that how it's coming off? And then I don't want to be looked at like that. So then I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. Let me.
So then your pride comes in.
And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to be that person.
Right.
Because I know how I used to be versus how I turned into. And I've gone back and forth between this passive person and not passive. And so definitely.
Right. So for me, I approach the situation, is it worth it? Do I really care? Like, if someone's arguing, like, I think the color blue is the best color in the world, I'm like, I don't care. So I just agree. I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. Color blue rocks.
See, I couldn't be like that. I would be like, if that's what you believe.
With a little bit of an argument in it.
But like, if that's what you want to believe, go for it. Or I always go, let's agree to disagree. That's my go-to, because I don't want to argue about it, and I don't care that you think you're right. If you want to think you're right, go for it. That's just.
But there are sometimes, you know, you just have to put your foot down.
Oh, certain subjects, I'll be like, no, like.
Right.
I don't agree with that. You know, like, no.
Give me an example.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I couldn't think of one either. I was like, what would I fight for?
It'd have to be like
almost nothing.
It has to be like pretty important, like to me.
Life or death kind of situation.
Yeah,
kind of
because
like, hey, maybe we shouldn't put the kid in a car seat. Like, no, I think we should.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's just hold the kid while we drive across the state.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, no,
that's a bad idea, Bob.
We're not going to do that.
I don't know who Bob is. I just came up with the name.
Yeah,
anyway,
Bob.
Sorry to all those Bobs out there.
The next one is competitiveness. In narcissist dating, a narcissist can feel a sense of competitiveness. Their competitive nature hampers cooperation and teamwork as they prioritize individual achievements over the relationship's well-being.
I absolutely agree with that, and I've seen that as I've studied the arts, performing arts, and two performers are dating. I'm like, that's not going to work. Not going to work, because both are competing for that higher limelight than the other person. You know, if one person does better, that person's happy for them. However, like, wow, they have that self-consciousness. Like, how do I need to perform better?
Yeah.
I see it all I saw it all the time when I was going to school studying that stuff. I'm like, that's not going to work.
And then the last one is emotional roller coaster. The relationship between narcissistic couples may fluctuate between extreme highs and lows, as each partner's self-esteem is fragile and dependent on external validation. Ooh. Yeah. Let's read that again for the people in the back.
All right.
People in the back. The relationship between narcissistic couples may fluctuate between extreme highs and lows, as each partner's self-esteem is fragile and dependent on external validation. Man, but how many of us have issues with external validation?
I think everybody wants to be
told,
hey, you know what? you look nice today.
Yeah.
Everybody wants like, hey, you did really well on whatever you were doing.
Mhm.
I think everybody wants that. I think there are some people like, I don't need that, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have that.
I feel like a lot of women, when they need that from a man, it's like she's got daddy issues, which I totally, to a certain extent, agree.
I don't know where you went with that, but okay.
Because, like, external validation, I've heard that so much of when, like, women are, like, needing to be validated by a man.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, she must have daddy issues because she has to be validated by a man because she didn't have a dad to validate her, which I think to a certain extent is true, and for some people it's true. I've had my own issues with it. I'll put it out there. I mean, there's women listening that have had that issue, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's when you never had it, and then you get it, and then you're like, wait a minute, this feels good. I've never had this before. But I think, do men do the same thing? Do they like a validation from women?
I don't need that. However, my wife did tell me the other day, she's like, you won the lottery when it came to parents because they stayed together, they were good to you, you didn't suffer any abuses. So I can't relate to that. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I want to dive into that.
Yes. Okay, well, we got to go to letting Andrea spill the beans.
Okay.
And then we're going to dive deeper into some more of this interesting stuff.
With your local and regional news from the Sierra Radio Network newsroom, here's what's happening. While many were gearing up for the unofficial kickoff to summer this Memorial Day weekend, first responders were on alert after a statewide Amber Alert was issued for a missing 7-year-old boy. Just after noon on Saturdays when the Susanville Police Department received that alert about the kidnapping of the boy by his non-custodial parent. The abduction occurred earlier that morning. It is believed the child was sleeping when his biological father, Jonathan Sr., cut open the boy's bedroom window screen. Recently released from a halfway house, Jonathan Sr. had not had contact with the boy for an extended period of time. Tehama County Sheriffs announced the father was known to have ties to Chico, Redding, and Susanville. As soon as the alert was issued, a Susanville officer immediately began searching for the abductor, and within hours, the officer located and arrested Jonathan Sr. on an out-of-area warrant. The child was found unharmed and was taken into protective custody, where he was later returned to Tehama County. The Susanville Police Department extended their gratitude to the Lassen County Sheriff's Office, California Highway Patrol, Lassen County Child Protective Services, and Walmart for their assistance in the child's successful recovery. On Monday, a couple of earthquakes rattled the Lake Almanor area near Chester. According to the Geological Survey, a magnitude 3.5 quake struck around 7:30 a.m. at a depth of about 1 mile, strong enough to startle vacationers out of their beds. The epicenter was along a known fault line on the peninsula's west side. An earlier, smaller quake with a magnitude of 2.1 did strike near the tip of the peninsula. Several small quakes have been affecting the area since May of last year, following larger 5.5 and 5.2 earthquakes that rocked the region. Those tremors were felt as far away as Susanville, Nevada, and even into the Bay Area. Campers are rejoicing as the season gets underway, and the long holiday weekend saw more campsites open across the Plumas National Forest. Forest officials expect all sites to be open by mid-June. Sites already opened within the Beckworth Ranger District do include Lake Davis and Frenchman Lake recreational areas, along with several campgrounds. Lakes Basin Campground will be opening June 6th, and other nearby sites are expected to open June 14th. For the Feather River Ranger District, Sly Creek, Strawberry, and Golden Trout campgrounds are now open, yet forest officials add that those higher elevation sites, including Little Grass Valley Reservoir, will aim to open by mid-June. Due to ongoing repairs, those visiting Strawberry Campground do need to bring their own water. Many campgrounds, including Long Point, Boulder, and Spanish Creek, are open in the Mount Huff Ranger District. However, Bucks Lake campgrounds do face delays due to snow and hazardous trees. You can expect staggering openings through early June. The Forest Service adds that a few small wildfires have also been reported despite the cooler conditions. You are reminded to use caution with anything that can spark a wildfire. Currently, there are no fire restrictions, but campfires do need to be fully extinguished before you leave. Roads and trails may also still have some snow, mud, or wet conditions, especially on northern slopes and shaded areas, posing some risks. Early season weather does vary. The Forest Service is reminding you to be prepared with proper gear and inform someone of your plans. For more information, you can visit the Plumas National Forest Service's webpage. Emergency repairs to the I-80 corridor get a later start this week due to the Memorial Day weekend. Caltrans is reminding you of those upcoming lane and ramp closures throughout the corridor in Placer, Nevada, and Sierra counties as work does continue impacting travel along the route. Multiple lane closures will be in place on both westbound and eastbound lanes at various locations beginning this evening and continuing through Friday midday. Work hours will typically be between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. If you are planning weekend travel along the I-80 corridor, there should be little to no interruptions as no work is planned for Saturday or Sundays. Plan ahead if you are trying to get out midweek before the weekend rush to accommodate these construction times. The emergency repairs are part of a $107 million effort to repair cracks, potholes, and deep ruts on the roadway that likely would not hold up through another winter, following an extensive field review of the I-80 corridor last year. Caltrans will continue to share detailed lane closures throughout the project. In continued efforts to improve the Klamath River ecosystem, CDFW has released millions of Chinook salmon into the river. The young salmon are about 6 months old and hatched from the CDFW's newest hatchery, Fall Creek, which replaces the 63-year-old Iron Gate hatchery. This release contributes to the new facility's exceeding production goals, already producing over 3.25 million salmon in its first year. Due to optimal weather conditions, smolt releases were able to get a head start this year. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife contributes the historical removal of the dams along the Klamath River as providing the opportunity to restore the salmon populations, as the 3 remaining dams targeted for removal, J.C. Boyle, Copco 1, and Iron Gate, could potentially open up more free fish passage and access to hundreds of miles of new spawning and rearing habitat to salmon returning to the ocean as early as this fall. CDFW plans another release of 250,000 to 300,000 yearling fall run Chinook salmon later this year. If dam removal proceeds at its current pace, CDFW expects to release the fish directly from its Fall Creek fish hatchery into Fall Creek, which has been inaccessible to salmon due to its location behind the Iron Gate Dam. And that is what's happening today from your only local news radio, keeping you informed and connected to your communities throughout Lassen, Plumas, and Sierra counties.
Thank you, Andrea. Now let's get over to Angie and find out what's going on Wall Street.
This is Senior Branch Office Administrator Christy Jimenez bringing you the daily financial market report on behalf of financial advisor Angie Crowley with Edward Jones. Enthusiasm around artificial intelligence, or AI, drove the NASDAQ to new record highs last week and has helped U.S. stocks more than reverse their April losses. Shares of NVIDIA, which is the AI industry leader now, jumped last week as the company's results exceeded the high bar of expectations and showed that AI computing spending remains strong. We think that AI has the potential to boost productivity as it is applied across different sectors of the economy, but this is not going to happen overnight. At this stage, it is the enablers of the technology that reap the benefits, but over time, the gains can spread to companies that can apply it effectively to improve existing processes. While the tech sector is leading sector performances so far this month, the gains are broader compared with last year, with 10 of the 11 sectors higher. International equity markets have also started catch up to the U.S., with major indexes of Europe, the U.K., and China keeping up, and in some cases outperforming. The S&P 500 as well as the U.S. dollar has softened and global growth is improving. The economics and earnings calendar is light this week, with the core PCE inflation being the highlight on Friday. Expectations are that the Fed's preferred measure of inflation will increase 0.2% month over month in April, following a 0.3% increase in March, leaving the annual rate unchanged at 2.8%. While progress in inflation stalled the first 3 months of the year, the downtrend remains in place, which suggests to us that the Fed will be able to deliver 1 or 2 cut rates back in the half of the year. Some uncertainty around future Fed policy in November's presidential election could be catalyst for volatility in the months ahead. But the combination of rising corporate profits, the continued economic expansion, and the potential for lower yields later in the year provides a positive backdrop for markets. The Dow closed down 217 points to finish at 38,853. The Nasdaq closed up 99 points to finish at 17,020, and the S&P 500 closed up 1 point to close at 5,306. In the commodity markets, the price of crude oil was up $2.48 to close at $80.20 a barrel. The spot price of gold was up $25.30 to close at $2,359.80. This has been today's financial market report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Angie Crowley, serving individual investors with personalized attention and long-term financial advice. If you would like additional information, please contact our branch office at 530-257-2803.
Northeast California weather. All right, the time is currently 5:39, and it's time to take another look at that 3-day Northeastern California weather. Outside the Sirius Radio Network studios, it is currently 74 degrees. Tonight, it's going to be a low of 48 and nice and clear. Wednesday, it's going to be sunny with a high of 77, clear in the evening with a low of 45. Thursday, it's going to be sunny with a high of 81, clear in the evening with a low of 49. And then Friday, it's going to be nice and sunny and hot with a high of 87, getting closer to those 90s, clear in the evening with a low of 52. Your full weather forecast is found on our website or our app, SierraDailyNews.com, or our app, Sierra Daily News, which is available on Apple or Android. And not only is weather available on there, but our events. And you click on the podcast little tab, and guess who's there? All of your favorite shows, including your #1 rated radio show.
That's right, I forgot.
Live at 5 with Amanda and Aaron.
I forgot we were the ¡1 rated in our time slot.
Yes, we are. He likes to add that. I just say #1. #1. We can call ourselves #1.
We can.
We can. All right. So before we get started, so the next person has plenty of time, it is time to qualify another listener to become eligible to win our next Princess Cruise to Cabo San Lucas. We're drawing qualifiers from our registrations received at our sponsor locations, and at this time, we are going to call the name of Alicia Griffin out of Taylorsville, who registered at Seneca Hospital. You have 12 minutes and 40 seconds to call 530-257-8255 to qualify for our next cruise to Cabo. Again, 530-257-8255. The clock is running, so call us now. Again, we have drawn the name of Alicia Griffin. Good luck from your official vacation station.
What was that? Like you fell off a cliff or something.
I read it so fast.
You did. You're getting really fast at that.
I am. 257-8255. Alicia Griffin out of Taylorsville. Someone call Alicia and let her know.
To give us a call.
In 12 minutes and 40 seconds. All right. So.
Okay, so we were getting deep.
We were getting deep, and then we had to go spill some beans, and now we're back.
Okay. So you were, repeat that last one that you did.
Oh, the emotional roller coaster?
The emotional roller, was that it?
The relationship between our we were talking about external validation.
External validations, right. And you were talking about how
internal validation, too.
I don't know the difference.
External is more like on the outside. Internal
like, hey, your hair looks nice.
Yeah, internal's like, you have such a sweet soul. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I'm just not used to these terms because, you know.
Oh, and I was asking, do men need to be validated by women the way some women, it seems like a lot of women need to be validated by men, especially they say the ones that have like daddy issues or whatever, didn't have a male role model in their life, you know, or a male caretaker, you know, someone who showed them love and gave them those validations growing up. So when they get older, they're looking for it. And when they get it, they like cling on to it and like hold on to it, even when it's like the bare minimum or like it's the bottom of the bottom. I mean, I've seen women that deal with that. I've dealt with that. And sometimes it's women that did have dads and, you know, did do those things. But I think there has been like things that shown it's even more increased when a woman hasn't had so much of a male figure in their life to show them and give those compliments or do those things. Then when a man doesn't, when they're an adult, then they like grab onto it and they take the bare minimum when they should expect more. And I'm wondering, like, is that the same for men? Like, if maybe they didn't have a mom or they didn't have, like, is there like, when a woman does that for them, I wonder if it's the same thing. That could be a poll.
So it could be a poll. We got to go out and do our next poll here shortly.
Yeah.
We haven't done that in a while because everything's been going on with graduations and all that kind of sicknesses and stuff like that. So we got to get out there one more time.
That we could totally put that on our website and app too, because some people might not want to talk about it, but they're like, a man might be like, I didn't have my mom around, and I noticed I definitely dealt with that. Like, I don't know. I don't know, because I think it's more put in the forefront if a woman has those issues, or they're known as daddy issues, but you don't so much hear if men have like mommy issues or whatever.
I have no idea either way of these issues that you speak of, where a woman seeks a man's approval or validation or vice
they
versa.
accept such little because they never had it. So when they get any, they're like, they soak it up, they like grab it like it's a sponge and just sort of like, oh, I'll take this, instead of being like, oh, like I expect a whole lot more.
So is this when guys play the woman by feeding her a bunch of compliments? Is that what you're talking about?
They can sometimes, if they know that's like, especially because like the love languages.
Love language.
So
right.
if a woman's love language, which I like took that test not too long ago, and I always thought I was physical touch, like it's my second one, but I always thought it was my first one till I did that test, and it said my first one is actually words of admiration. I think affirmation. Admiration. It could be admiration. It could be admiration.
Synonyms.
Synonyms.
Not cinnamons.
Cinnamons. No, there's cinnamon. No, you're making me say it wrong. Please say it.
Synonyms.
Synonyms. There we go. I just hear it because I kept wanting to say cinnamon. Cinnamon. Now I can't say cinnamon. But yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Words of affirmation.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, and I realized, I was like, oh, wait, I think that is true, because I will, I think I've always allowed so little to be enough.
Right.
And be like, oh, and I know a lot of us too, like, we will dig into it. Like, you get given this little word and you're like, right. It can mean this and it can mean this. And, like, you build it up, such a little thing when you should be expecting a whole lot more.
So how do you separate somebody who's very complimentary? Mm-hmm. Some people are just like that. I tend to be like that. I compliment people when I can. How do you separate people who just compliment you with people who you think might?
Well, I think other things go along with it.
Okay.
I think if it's someone like, you obviously know a difference between, I would say, like someone that just compliments you and someone like you have more of a intimate relationship with, and they're complimenting you, maybe. Okay. But if the compliments aren't there, then that can be a lot too.
Interesting.
I think we could do like a whole segment on love languages.
On this
we should get some experts.
We should get an expert.
You know what? I know of one.
Do you?
Because
it ain't me.
She's not but she's a psychologist. I can bring her in, and she can maybe talk about love languages. Let me get with her and find out.
So we're producing the show right on the show.
I also know, I know a few things. We could do a few different ways of doing this.
Okay.
I'm brewing some ideas. I'm going to get counseled. Just kidding.
It's for us, really.
They'll be like, Amanda,
you got your issues, I got my issues, I got to come in and help me.
Simmer down. Yeah. I'll be like, I have my single issues, he has his married issues. Help,
we need help.
Fix it now. You have this many minutes.
And we get it for free.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so that's just something I've never
You've never heard about, like, daddy issues?
Well, I've heard of daddy issues.
But did you not know what it kind of meant? Like,
I did not. I just heard daddy issues, meaning people were acting out because they didn't have a father in the house. And they're like, hey, don't worry about it. They have, I heard it as like a negative thing towards behavior and not like trying to get affirmation, or what did you call it? Where'd they put it? They put it somewhere in that. Oh,
the external validation?
External validation. I didn't know anything about that part of the whole daddy issues.
I think a lot of daddy issues make, and that's what they call it, but it doesn't even have to be that, because it could be from either way. I feel like it can honestly be from either way, is they need to be validated. Maybe that's our caller, or that's someone just calling in. Let's see.
Chime in.
You're on air with Amanda and Aaron.
Hi, this is Alicia Griffin.
Hey!
Yay!
All right.
We're putting you in the box.
You're in the box, Alicia.
Yes.
Friday morning at 7 a.m. They're pulling out of the box the next winner, so be listening.
All right, sounds great.
All right, good luck.
All right.
Okay,
bye-bye.
thanks. Bye. Hey,
She's in the box.
we got a qualifier.
We got a qualifier.
I don't think the morning show qualified anyone this morning.
They're not the
Not to
number-
compete or anything.
They're not the number one rated talk show.
Good point.
It's not us. That's why. Get it together.
So I didn't know anything about that whole validation stuff. So
Oh yeah, but I think.
by men,
Have you ever felt like you've needed to be validated by anyone?
I just needed my wife to validate. Just to show that she cared
Yeah.
about the things that I'm doing or stuff like that.
You know, when I was married, that was the only person I ever really needed
Yeah.
validation from. And switching out of being in the married world, now it's like I'm back to like needing validation, and I don't need it. I honestly only need to validate myself.
Right.
But I've gotten into this mindset where it's like, it's very hard not to think you need it from other
Right.
places.
Right.
And they're always like, I've read over and over, I want to say it right, the energy you put out is the energy of the person you want, like, to be with you.
You want to receive,
You want
yeah.
to receive back. So if you want, whatever energy you're putting out there for the person that you're going to end up with or be with or date or marry, whatever, put out the energy that you want to put in a partner for yourself, which was way easier said than done. But sometimes my energy's a hot mess. So then I put hot mess energy out.
And then it boomerangs back at
And
you.
it boomerangs back and I get hot mess energy back. I'm like, oh, dang it. And
Probably someone else that I'd want. What would we call it? Validation from? Probably my parents.
yeah.
Not that I have to have it because I'm a grown man. I know
Yeah.
what I want and what I need and and the direction I'm going. However, it's comforting.
I think it depends too on the situation, because sometimes you need validation at work to keep doing a good job or do better. I think it's
that's a good point.
all the
That's
situations.
right.
We should do a whole thing of different things we need validation from that make us like feel good as an
what
adult.
we're- yeah.
I know that it's changed as a married person to a single person,
Mm-hmm.
because do I need to be validated by a man? Heck no. But do I tend to start to go that direction? Heck yes. I'm not perfect. I'll put it out there. Women, if you're single, you've done it too, and you're like, oh crap. Or even men. Men might be looking for validation from a woman, be like, oh, do I look good today? And then, a woman goes, you look very nice today. And they're like, oh, I do look good. It's like we don't realize the validation we're seeking until we're like, oh, wait, did I just... And they're like, you need to love yourself. I'm just like, I love myself, but of course it feels good to hear something, you
Right.
know? And we're not perfect.
Right. And it brings up a good point, because I say, like, oh, the only person I need is my wife to validate me. That may not be true. That may be what I want to think is true, but that may not be true. Because as you're talking about with work, that there's all those different facets in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would like to be maybe validated. I'm like, hey, I am doing a good job, which... As long as I get a paycheck, I think I'm good.
But it does feel good every once in a while.
But it does feel good, but do I need that?
Sometimes I don't feel like we should figure out what's our number one validation that we need, okay?
Right.
Some people, it might be their job. Because they might be like single people that aren't dating and they just only work and they go home.
Right.
And their biggest validation is from their boss.
Right. And also people are because for a long time I was so nervous to lose my job, because when I first started into the workforce, it was so hard to get a job.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it kind of created a wave of behavior with me that I had to please my supervisors, as opposed to like, oh, I'm gonna go in that office and tell them piece of my mind. I've never been that kind of a person. I've always tried to like, okay, what do you want? And I will try to deliver. And so that might be a form of validation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now
we just
Yeah.
keep going. I know we have. I hope I didn't just kick that to the wrong thing. Was it always on AM? Because I hit it. I don't
Yes,
know. Okay. I know, because what the next thing we have to talk about is signs you're moving from the talking stage to the dating stage.
Okay.
I think I don't even think we have time to like dive into this, because you were
we dove into some stuff.
we
Like,
dove
what
into
are you talking
this,
about?
And when I mentioned that was one of the things we talk about, so we might have to hold this for tomorrow, but you were like talking to dating, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's a new thing. People don't just go straight to dating. They have a talking stage, and then they have like this dating stage. I don't know if that's with the young people. I haven't quite figured all this out. Honestly, I'm not a whole big fan of this whole dating thing.
Good luck to you, girl. Good luck to you.
I'm like, maybe
Have
I'll
fun.
just be alone. And, cause
No, you need somebody.
I know I'm not a person that likes to be alone, but I also don't like all the games and the loop-de-loos and
That's the
the
problem.
validation and
See-
all, because like remember I
Right.
told you I'm a hot mess. I will hot mess express on some days too. I mean, full head, like
Full
full
throttle.
steam ahead.
No helmet,
And-
full throttle.
Yeah, like,
Head out the window.
and so I know, I couldn't be with someone that was 100% not a hot mess. I need someone that's a little hot mess too, because then they're just going to be like, what the heck is up with her? She's
Okay,
all,
so you want a little bit of an imperfect kind of person.
Oh, 100%. I do not
Okay.
want someone that has everything
Figured
together.
out.
No way, because then I'm the messed up
You're the
one.
problem of
I'm
every
the
situation.
problem with every situation.
It's
and
Amanda. She's messed up again.
Yep, it's her, because she's the hot mess. And I'm like, I think as well as, you both have to have these imperfections, and if one's always has it together, and there's this one
We
messed
complement
up,
each other.
and
Nobody's perfect.
Exactly, where this person's fallouts might be my good things, and my fallouts might be their good things, and you kind of balance each other out, and you
Right.
help each other, and that's where I'm like, that's what I need. I don't need someone that has it completely together, because
But nobody's perfect, though.
No one's perfect.
So
but
they might see you as someone who always has it together. They might have some other
Definitely
issues,
not.
but their issues are not their own issues. Like, oh, wow, I'm dealing with this, and so I'm the hot mess, not her.
And I totally, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the 16 signs from talking stage to dating, because we're too deep into all this right now. So
Right.
tomorrow we have our whole subject for tomorrow after Caitlin Midgley comes by. And, but yeah, so I think too is if I am always, I'm a procrastinator, 100%, I own it. I procrastinate. And someone has to be okay with that. Someone has to also be okay with making too many plans. Overwhelms me. I like to do spur of the moment things.
Okay.
I don't mind if you make a plan and I go from it, but don't tell me that plan.
Really?
You hold on to that plan and then I'll just go with it with you.
But what if that be a spur of the moment is fine, but you always have a backup plan in case you're spur of the moment.
Do I have
wing
to
it.
make the backup plan? Am I in
It's
charge
It's
of the...
your life, so yeah.
No, but I'm saying if spur of the moment.
Say if we're planning a trip.
Okay.
Say you and your significant other are planning
That does
a
not
trip.
exist.
That does not exist. Well, they're significant somewhere out there. They're just not together yet.
Okay.
You haven't met each other yet.
Oh, there
There you go. So, and you guys, let's make a trip. And you're like, hey, let's just drive somewhere and go somewhere.
That
That's
sounds
you?
so fun to me.
Actually, does sound fun. However, if you go to a place, I like to do that, but I always like to have a backup plan. Like, this kind of sucks. Let's go to this. Let's do this.
But we figure it out when we get to that place and we realize it sucks. And I'm like, what are we doing now? Because this sucks. What are we doing? But
Okay.
I don't care if someone makes a plan. I just don't I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've never lived a whole super planned out life. I know for the most part, I'd be like, we're going here on this date. Da, da, da. It was so funny because my oldest, whenever we would plan trips, I would give her anxiety because she's the type that needs a plan. She needs criteria. She needs times,
Oh, no, you
dates.
can't. There's extremes to both ends.
Oh, she was like, I need to know this,
Right.
and this, and I was like, you're not going to know this,
Right.
this, and this, because that's not me. And I was like,
See, when I went to Bolivia, I made a lot of things. I'm like, okay,
well,
we
you're
could
going
do
to
this.
another country.
We could do this, this, and that, because I didn't want to get them. Like, oh, everything's closed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, now we're just going to hang out on the street,
Yeah.
So but when we got there, we just okay, let's just do what we want. So we usually just walked the street till we ran into something we wanted to do.
I get there's planning when it comes to certain things, like going out of the country. You
Yeah.
gotta plan that. Or if you're gonna be traveling really, really far, you gotta make sure there's a hotel room with a
Right.
room. Certain things like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about breaking it down and having
That's
the bag
stressful.
and people saying, okay, this is what has to be in your bag. No, I'm just gonna pack my bag, and if I forget something, I'll buy some socks there.
There you go.
know? That's how I think of it. But
And that's my
just
number
me.
one thing I hate to forget to pack in my socks. I have to have clean socks every time. Anyway.
So my whole point was, obviously someone that has to live by a plan, they could not be with me because
Right.
I would
Okay.
be an anxiety factor in their life. And
They got to be able to let go a little bit
Yes.
with you. That's fine.
That's what it is. 'Cause-
Would you be able to let go a little bit with them?
Oh, I'm very easy, and then I will adjust to people, especially someone I care about. I'll adjust to what their needs are, but obviously with any partnership, you have a partnership.
Okay.
And that's what I want the next time around.
There you go.
But I want to go into it with no external validation needed.
There you go, Mr. Significant Other. There you go.
No validation needed.
All right.
All right.
All right. In honor of Amanda, you pulled off the impossible.
I did.
You did, with all the stuff you got going on, and you graduated.
Oh, my
Congratulations.
goodness.
So
I did not know what song he had put on here.
There you go. It's like a Mission Impossible. You made
I
it happen.
it. I made it happen at my young age of 38. No, it was great, but I'm glad we're back. We have a fun week planned.
We do. And I'm also, this week, on Friday, I'll be up in the plane during the morning show.
He's flying out this weekend. All right, I'm Amanda.